I'm Krystle. I've loved dolls my whole life. I collect everything from porcelain to cloth, American Girl, neonates, and real care dolls. But my favorite is to collect and make reborn dolls. There's Chloe, Grace, Jeremy, Maya, Yuki, Savannah, Zoe, Haley, Landon, Maisie, and Joshua. It isn't easy keeping up with my collection, but it sure is a lot of fun. Hi guys, I am here with Twin Tuesday, and it just so happened that the outfit Nicole and I chose this week, I actually already had one of my dolls in the outfit, so you're not going to get to see me dress her on camera, but this is Kiara, and this week she is twinning with, I'm trying to remember Nicole's doll's name, and I can't. Sorry, Nicole. I know that you did your Asian American Girl as well, and I'm blanking on her name. I'm sorry. But this is Kiara, and I actually just recently trimmed her bangs a little bit more, so I think they look even better than they did. And she's wearing these pink glasses, and they're from Mapley. And I just wanted to put it out there. I know I've heard a few people on YouTube that make American Girl doll videos, and they've purchased items from Mapley, and they called it Maplelia. I've heard a lot of Americans say Maplelia, and I think I've even heard of some Canadians pronounce it that way too. And that's what I originally thought the name is Maplelia, but it's actually Mapley. And the way I found that out is, I forget where I read it, but I read somewhere that the company came up with the name because they were thinking of Avonlea from the Anne of Green Gables stories. And so Avonlea, Mapley. So it is Mapley. And so she's wearing these glasses from Mapley. And this is the part that's going to be matching with her cousin. So this is from the, I think it's called the Berry Fresh line, or maybe it's like the Country Market line. I think it might be the Country Market line. And this is just a white shirt, and it's cute because it's got like this little tie, like the bottom of the shirt ties up. And it's just a white shirt, and it says Berry Fresh, and it has a pink strawberry, a blue strawberry, a green strawberry. It has some yellow flowers and pink flowers and a turquoise flower. And then the shorts just Velcro up, and it has pink and red strawberries, and the bottom cuff kind of looks rolled up, but I think it's actually sewn that way, but it looks rolled up. So the shirt and the shorts is what she's going to be matching her cousin. And I did not have the boots that Nicole used, so I used my pink Crocs. And this line did come with these pink canvas shoes, which I do have, but they are currently being worn by another doll that has another is wearing another outfit from this mix and match line. So I decided to pull out the pink Crocs, and really cute, but soon she's gonna have to change into some fall clothes because it is getting cooler here. So yeah, this is Kiara. She is Truly Me number I'm blanking on the number, and I should know this number because I had wanted her for so long and I knew the number by heart. I think it's 64, 63, 60 something. Wow, I am just drawing blanks today in my brain. My memory is awful lately. So even at work, I've been getting the kids' names confused. It's horrible. I feel so bad too, because like they've called me out on it before. Like where the older one's like, you just called me so-and-so, and it's like, I'm so sorry. I get all their names confused because the 3 boys I look after now, they look so alike that it's very easy to get their names confused because they look very alike. They all have very similar features. But she's just got this dark hair. I think it's black hair with some dark brown highlights, I think. But it pretty much comes up as black. And I love her little bangs. But, yeah, I can't for the life of me remember what number she is. And that's really bad because I wanted her for so long and I knew that number like the back of my hand. But my brain. Lupus, fog. So, anyways. This week is my 3rd week. No, wait. 4th week. This week is my 4th week at the new job. I don't know, guys. I don't know about this new job. I don't know if it's the right fit for me. I just don't know. I mean, at the beginning in the interview, I thought that it would be a good fit for me. But since starting, there's just been some things that have crept up that have made me feel uneasy or awkward while I'm there. And it's causing me, to have anxiety at work, which is not good for lupus. I don't know. It's basically what's happening is the mom is home for the majority of the time because she's with the baby. And the first 2 weeks or like the first week and a half no, I guess it was basically like the first 4 days. I had the 4-year-old and the 2-year-old. And then the 4-year-old has now started school, so I only have the 4-year-old from 3:30 till 6 with the 2-year-old, and the rest of the time I'm basically with the 2-year-old, and occasionally I will have the 2-year-old and the 4-month-old while the mom runs errands, but she usually does that during nap time. So the rest of the time she's kind of there, and I feel like I don't really have a lot of autonomy in my job, which I'm very used to creating my own routine for the day, planning all the activities for the day, because that's fun for me to do, planning what we're doing and when, and I've kind of like had the mom and I kind of butting heads because she will kind of step in and say do this or that, and I had something else planned, and then so for like the first couple of weeks, I really didn't get to do any planned activities of my own. And then I finally jumped in and did one. And then the mom kind of was like, oh, they really like that activity. Do you have any more planned? And she kind of had like this comment. It was almost as if to say, like, you said in the interview you would plan activities. And it's like, oh, that was the first planned activity you've done. Do you have more? Like... and then there's been times where I've taken the kids to the park and then all of a sudden the mom will like walk through the park with the baby on a walk, but I feel more like she's checking up on me, which makes me really uncomfortable because it makes it feel like she doesn't trust me. And you know, there was one situation where she came through and saw something totally out of context. So basically, when we got to the park, the boys' favorite thing to do at the park is play restaurant for some reason. They want me to like sit down on the little table and chair in the play structure while they cook me food, and they'll ask me, what would you like to order? And so I'm like, oh, I'll have a hamburger or whatever. And then they go off and they cook it and they serve it to me. So we were playing that for a while, and then the 4-year-old decided he wanted to go on the swings. Well, I know that he needs a push on the swings. So I was stuck up at the table with the 2-year-old, and the 2-year-old was still wanting to play restaurant. So he was just in the middle of taking my order, and my plan was to have him deliver my order to the swing area so that I could push the 4-year-old while also playing restaurant with the 2-year-old. And then I was going to try to convince the 2-year-old to go on the swings as well so I could just push both of them there. Well, the mom comes by right in the minute that I was literally like 2 seconds away from telling the 2-year-old to deliver my meal to the swing so that I could push the 4-year-old on the swing. But then the mom just saw the 4-year-old sitting on the swing, you know, just kind of sitting there doing nothing. And he had literally only been sitting there for like not even a minute when she came by. And she was like, oh, you know, is everything okay? And, you know, she's like, you know, if you want to push on the swing, make sure to ask Krystle and all this stuff. And it just felt like I just got the impression she felt like I was ignoring him when that wasn't the case at all. And I was planning to go over and push him. Like, it just didn't sit well with me. Then there was a time where when she asked me if I had an activity planned, because the activity I did the day before they liked, I said that I was going to make apple pie scented Play-Doh with the boys. Her response was, oh, well, they played Play-Doh yesterday, so I don't know if they'll want to do it, but you can try. So then it was kind of like, okay, you're wanting me to plan activities. I've planned one, but now you're essentially putting that idea down. So I went ahead and I was going to get the supplies out and ready to go so that when the 4-year-old came home from school, we'd be ready to go for making Play-Doh. So I figured, you know, usually when children are napping is when I set up stuff for the afternoon. So I was trying to get all the supplies out in the kitchen to be ready to go. And the mom came in and said, can you please stop clanging and banging? Because at this point, she's been trying to sleep train the 4-year-old. And so she's like, he's trying to go down for his nap, and his room is right above the kitchen. And, you know, it needs to be quiet for him to sleep. And this has been the biggest issue, is she wants silence when the baby is trying to go down for a nap. And trying to keep a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old quiet is like practically impossible. So most of the time we get kicked out of the house to go to either the backyard or the park. So then I can't do my planned activity. So it's just been frustrating trying to figure out, because every day is different, because I don't know what time she's putting the baby down, and then depending on how long the baby sleeps, then that determines when his next nap will be. So there's no like consistent nap routine for the baby every day, and I have no clue what's going on like each day. I cannot seem to establish like a proper set routine like I usually have with the children I look after. So that's been kind of frustrating. So like I said, she kind of came in, was like, please don't clang and bang because I'm trying to put the baby down. And I'm like, okay, so what do I do during nap? Like, you know, usually I do have some sort of a break time during nap, but I also feel awkward having an entire nap period where I just sit and do nothing, especially when the parent is home, because then I feel like they're judging me for not doing anything. Now, Jay's parents were never like that. They were like, watch TV if you want, read if you want, put music on if you want during nap time, do whatever you want. It's your time. And they didn't care. But, you know, other families, I just don't know how they feel. So I'm like trying to figure out what to do. So we ended up not being able to make the Play-Doh until 4:45 p.m. And 5 p.m., the dad comes home early and starts trying to make dinner while I'm trying to make Play-Doh in the kitchen, because the mom failed to mention to me that the dad was coming home early that day and that he would be getting dinner ready because the mom was going out to an exercise class early. So I had no clue about any of that. And so trying to like make Play-Doh with two kids while another adult is trying to make dinner in the same area was chaos. So we finally get it finished and we play Play-Doh for about a half hour. Then we tidy up for dinner and then I clean up all the mess from making the Play-Doh. And then it was time for me to go home. Then the next day, I wanted to do apple trees, making apple trees with pom-poms and construction paper. Now, I noticed that the pom-poms they had in their art cabinet, which, by the way, on my first day, the mom said I could use anything in the art cabinet for crafts. I saw pom-poms in there the day before, but I realized they didn't have enough red pom-poms for apples, so I brought some of my own to add to it. We're in the middle of the craft. The mom comes in. She goes, "Is that our pom-poms or yours?" I said, "It's a mix of both." And she goes, "Oh, I really wish you had told me that you had this activity plan," because she says, the pom-poms that we had in there, I used those to sort the colors and count with the 2-year-old. So then I felt bad for using them and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm like, "I could just use my own then and we'll just do multicolored apples or whatever." And she's like, No, it's fine. I'll just buy some more." But it was like, well, you just kind of made me feel bad for doing an activity, which is my job to do. So it's been really awkward and really uncomfortable. I've been in contact with Jay's family. His mom is having second thoughts about daycare now because our coronavirus cases are going up here. And so she asked me how my new job is going, and I was honest with her. I mean, I didn't go into all the details, but I was like, I don't know if it's quite what I expected it to be. I'm like, I'll see how it goes, but I'm not sure if it's quite what I expected. And she was like, "Well, if it turns out it's not what you expected, or, like it doesn't work out, please let me know." So it basically sounds like they might want me back, which that would be great. I would love to work with them again because I was very happy there. But at the same time, I'm now making more money than I was with Jay. So that's going to be hard to let go of. Now, mind you, at some point, I should be taking care of both Jay and his brother, C. So therefore, my pay rate would go up to $1 more per hour than what I'm currently making. However, I'd be working 2 hours less per week, so it would still work out to a little bit less, unless I can convince them to give me an extra 2 hours a week to make up for it. But I also would be afraid to go back and then a few months in they decide to go back with the daycare. So but then I think they would lose their spot in the daycare if they pull him. So then they would probably have to go back on a wait list anyway. I don't really know. So if things don't work out with this new family and I was to go back with Jay, I would have to make some stipulations before I start back. As much as I love them, as much as I love Jay and I love the area and I would love to go back, I would have to be like, you need to be able to guarantee me employment for, I would say, at least a year, preferably longer. And I would say I would like to have a pay raise, before I even end up having both kids. I'd like to get that pay bump, just so that it makes it more feasible. But yeah, like, I don't know. I have no idea. I just feel very uncomfortable right now at my current job. Like, I don't feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm being judged by the mom on how I handle things. I feel like she's checking up on me when she comes by the park. I feel like, you know, on one hand, she wants me to do activities, but then she like finds something wrong with the activities that I'm planning. So it's kind of like, what do I do? I can't fully establish a proper routine because of her sleep training. It's just a mess. And I just can't operate like that, especially when I'm looking after kids. I need to have a consistent routine. And it's not even important for me. It's more important for the children to know what's happening. And a lot of times what's happening is she's asking, instead of asking me what I have planned, she's asking the children what they plan to do next, like what they plan to play next or do next. But then if she doesn't like whatever thing they want to do or play with, then she suggests something totally different and says, well, I think you should do this. And then they have a huge meltdown. So it's kind of like, well, if you don't want them to choose, then don't give them the choice, because then they're just going to have a meltdown. So it's just been awkward and frustrating, and I'm just kind of trying to navigate like what exactly is expected of me and when and what, and I don't know. I don't know. On top of it, the boys are really, well, especially the older one, the 4-year-old, he's very, very athletic. So he likes to play basketball, soccer, hockey, tag, all these very physical activities that are very difficult for me to do because of my joints and my health. Like, he tried to get me to play tag in the park with him one day, and I played for maybe 3 minutes max, and then I couldn't breathe. I was so out of breath. I couldn't breathe. My lungs, it just wasn't working. So thankfully some other kid showed up at the park, and I was like, oh, would you like to play tag? And kind of got the kids together playing, and I just kind of watched. But I'm not athletic. I've never been athletic even before I got sick. I've never been into sports. I don't play hockey. Yeah, I don't mind basketball so much. I've always been okay with basketball. I'm pretty good at basketball, actually. So I didn't mind that, but it's just a lot of physical activity. And I would say, like, after the first few days, I was in a tremendous amount of pain. And the worst part is, like, usually when I go to these nanny interviews, somehow my health comes up in the interview, because most families will ask why I'm looking for part-time, and I will explain that it's to do with my health, that the best way for me to stay healthy is to work part-time. Plus, on top of that, I don't like to inconvenience families with taking too much time off for appointments. So if I work part-time, I can try my best to schedule appointments on off days as best as I can. And usually they're fine with that. And I usually try to ensure them that for the most part, my health does not, affect my ability to do my job, and my, positive references back that up. So, usually it's not a problem. I usually find if it is a problem with the family, then they're not the family for me. But for some reason, this family never asked that question. So my health never came up. So they don't even know about me having lupus. So that's another thing, because it's kind of like, how do I explain why I can't do certain things if it never came up in the interview? And, they maybe hired someone thinking like they'd be able to do the athletic stuff. Like, I just don't know. I'm just not sure at this point if it's a fit. I will say, though, yesterday went a little bit better than last week. But we'll have to see how things transpire. I think I'm just maybe going to give it another like 2 weeks to see if things improve. If not, and I'm still feeling uncomfortable, I may talk to Jay's mom to see what's happening on their end. I don't know. I mean, I would say right now the only thing I like about the new job is that my commute is cut in half, and the days that Alex can drive me, it's like a 5-minute drive. And the pay. Other than that, I'm not sure. So yeah, I also really like their backyard, I'll have to say. It's a bigger space to play in, and they have a really nice play structure in the backyard, which has been nice. Whereas Jay doesn't really have anything like that in his backyard, but it's not detrimental because they have a beautiful park that's like a 5-minute walk, so I'm cool with that. And you know, but I don't know, guys. Anyways, this video has turned out longer than I intended it to, but that's what's happening. That's my update. Here's Kiara. Please go check out Nicole's channel. It's linked in the description below. See her American Girl in the same outfit. And I'm going to look up her name, and I'll put her name in the title of this video. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.